What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. This video today is for those that are preparing to ship out to boot camp, basic training, or whatever their initial school is for the military. If you're looking to start your career off on the right foot, stay tuned for this video. Hey guys, my name is Jason, and I am the creator and the host of the Military Bottom Line YouTube channel and podcast. My goal is to help you from the beginning of your career beyond the end of your career to make the most out of your military contract, the benefits that you've earned, and everything in between. I want you to be successful in the military and out, starting with finances, strategy, opportunities, and benefits. So if that's something that interests you and you want to be more involved in ensuring your success, then definitely subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell, and stick around for the future videos. All right, guys, so before we get into this, I want to clarify a few things. Bootcamp is really a pass-fail school that is only required to get into the fleet of the military. Whether you're joining the Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, whatever, it doesn't really matter. There's always going to be that entrance schooling that you have to pass in order to continue and even start your career. After bootcamp, nobody really cares what you did in bootcamp. Nobody cares if you're a guide, a squad leader, even an honor graduate. Nobody gives a rip. So like, don't carry those things with you beyond the boot camp because nobody cares. And at the end of the day, you're just going to get made fun of. But there's one thing that does matter that can really exponentially increase the rate at which you get promoted. And if you're starting off on the right foot from day one and you're getting promoted faster and faster compared to your peers, then you are going to set yourself up for success during your military career. So today I want to talk about the 5 tips I have for you to start off on the right foot during your bootcamp time. All right, tip number 1. This might be a little bit contrary to what other people would tell you, but what I'm going to say is that I don't think that you should start off on a sprint from day 1 of bootcamp. This is a time to strategically make sure that you kind of stay under the radar at the beginning. Do what you're told, react, be disciplined, and put out. But at the end of the day, I want you to start the first few days, maybe even the first week, as like a wallflower, really. Be invisible, be obedient, put out, and do the work required of you. But I want you to really not be noticed by your DIs. I want you to just sit on the edge, put out, do really well, and don't really be too far above average. Don't be a turd because that'll get you negative attention. Don't excel too much because that'll get you some attention too. I want you to be pretty average at the beginning. And that's going to lead me into step 2. I want you to start observing. I want you to observe the other people in your platoon, see what they're good at, see what they're bad at. And most importantly, I want you to observe your DIs or your drill sergeants or whoever your military instructors are and observe what they care about. Who are they giving the accolades to in that first couple days, that first week, that you can really pick up on, okay, my senior drill instructor really likes people that are good at PT. My other guy really likes people that are good at drilling. So then you're taking these mental notes and you're storing them in the back of your head for the future, where you then recognize, okay, what is most important in this game and how can I play to those strengths, play to those preferences that my DIs have to ensure that I can succeed in those areas. Step 3, now that you have been a wallflower for a couple of days, maybe a week max, and you have made some critical observations of other people in your platoon and your drill instructors, now is the time to react and make yourself known. I want you to take all of the lessons that you've learned from observing your drill instructors, observing your platoon mates, and seeing what your DIs find most important to them. And I want you to put as much effort into those things as possible. If you're a senior drill instructor or whoever your senior is wants you to be good at PT, then you have to make sure that you are putting out in PT as much as possible. Anything that is physically strenuous, whether it be rucks, PT runs, pull-ups, races, anything, just do it with like 110%. If they don't care about drilling, it doesn't matter if you care about drilling, you can have fun, but it's not really part of the strategy. You have to care about what they care about. You might like drilling, you might like the McMap or the fighting or the shooting, but if your drill instructors don't find that as important at that time, like everybody's going to have their little thing that they find most important. Make sure that your goals and what you're working towards and working on 110% is in line with what your drill instructors find important. Part of making yourself known is by volunteering for every opportunity. So once you've been a wallflower, you haven't been volunteering. You've literally just stayed under the radar and been pretty much invisible. But at the point you want to start making yourself known, you have to volunteer for every opportunity. If a guide or a squad leader gets kicked out because they suck for some reason, at this point, you can strive to get that position. Volunteer to be the guide, volunteer to be a squad leader. And this will get you on the map, get you recognized by both your platoon mates and your drill instructors. I also want you to make sure that you're striving to be the best in your platoon at whatever your DIs find most important. Like I said, if your DIs find PT, physical training, extremely important, you better be the best or at least put out the most in those circumstances. Lastly, I want you to lead by picking up the slack of others. There is going to be slack. You know, the platoon is only as strong as the weakest or the slowest individual. So if there's somebody straggling behind on a ruck and they're like dragging their feet and all of a sudden they're pretending like their rifle weighs 1,000,000 pounds, I want you to go back there. Like, even if you're the squad leader, go into the back, take that kid's rifle and just push him. Just keep pushing him. So you're leading from the rear and pushing other people ahead of you rather than ensuring that you're always in the front. You're going to lead from the back and you're going to push others ahead. So you're always striving to pick up the slack of others and lead them that way. This is going to get you noticed by all your platoon mates and especially your drill instructors. Number 4. All right. This is really important. It's hard sometimes to maintain a high standard for an extended period of time. So it's really important that once you've decided to take that action and become noticed, that you are continuing with that amount of effort until the very end. So make sure that you're pacing yourself appropriately. And when you do start to get noticed, and make sure that you're getting noticed, you're not burning yourself out early on. So number 4 is to just stay the course and adjust fire if necessary. If you notice that you're maybe going a little bit too hard, making enemies in the platoon or making, enemies with the DIs, then adjust fire and always keep that balance where the DIs are giving you good feedback in their own unique way and that you're not causing too much trouble within the platoon as like the douchey kid that's just like trying to be like better than everybody else and throwing other people under the bus. The goal is not to throw others under the bus. The goal is to lead. Number 5, this really should go without saying, but sometimes people just do it anyways. Number 5 is to stay out of trouble. Don't be the kid in boot camp that's like picking fights with somebody else or like, just being an overall douche. Nobody likes that. That's not going to be a good look. And if the military and your DIs are trying to create leaders, leaders aren't going to be picking fights. Leaders aren't going to be back on the block and like fighting the guy next door because they messed something up or who knows what. But the goal is to just really stay out of trouble. Don't get IT'd. If you're getting individual negative attention from your drill instructors, that's not a good thing. You want to only really get disciplined with the masses. If you're getting called out individually because you're making too many mistakes and you're getting in trouble, then you're going to hurt yourself in the long run. So make sure that you're staying out of trouble. You're getting noticed, but only for good things. So why do I give you this information? If I'm saying that what you do in boot camp doesn't matter, then what's the point in anything? Why not just stay a wallflower the whole time? In my case and in my experience, I want to give you this information because of how it impacted me. So I didn't this is just kind of how I went through boot camp, not even intentionally. This wasn't the strategy I had from the beginning. That's just kind of how I went through. I was a wallflower at the beginning until I started realizing how my senior drill instructor really liked, PT. And like he started calling me out for specific things during obstacle courses and whatnot for me to demonstrate things. And so I'm just kind of like reiterating what worked for me. And while, I didn't have any sweet guide title or squad leader title or honor graduate title, I did get meritoriously promoted out of boot camp. And that is because I did exactly what I've just put forward for you guys. So I wasn't not a contract E2. I went in as an E1. And towards the end of boot camp, like within the last week before graduation, this SDI whole platoon is on the line in the squad bay. And the SDI says, we have opportunity for 2 meritorious promotions to PFC. If you think you should be promoted, step forward and state your case. So I kind of thought back to it. I'm like, SDI liked me a lot for some of the things that I did in boot camp and throughout. So I just kind of stepped out there. I'm like, I don't really know what I'm going to say yet, but I'm going to step out there. And so I just sent it, like, don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. If you're confident that you put out good work and that you had a good relationship with your platoon mates and with your drill instructors, don't be afraid to step out on that line and advocate for yourself. That's definitely something that's going to benefit you, not only in boot camp and for potentially that meritorious promotion, but also for the years down the line in the rest of your military career. So that's pretty much it. Honestly, nobody cares if you are a guide. Nobody cares if you're a squad leader. Really, nobody actually cares even if you get meritoriously promoted. However, it's going to help you. If you are able to increase the rate of which you get that next promotion by 6 months, that's only going to move up the next promotion and the next promotion and the next promotion. So trying to get that meritorious promotion going into boot camp with the hope and with the goal of being meritoriously promoted out of boot camp is going to only expedite the rate at which you get promoted throughout your career. While there's a little side note, I don't actually know if there's always going to be the opportunity to get meritoriously promoted. But working towards that and having that as your goal is only going to set you up for success, regardless of whether you actually get that promotion. So those are my 2 cents about boot camp. I don't really talk about boot camp ever. I figured there are people that are still going to boot camp like every freaking week. So hopefully this will benefit you. Hopefully that you'll take these lessons that I've learned, apply them to your time there. But honestly, boot camp's a blast. Enjoy it. Don't look at it as like the worst thing or the scariest thing, because it's really a great time. If you are shipping out soon, good luck. And if you're not shipping out too soon, check out the Military Bottom Line podcast, where I talk to veterans and current service members and how they're making the most out of their military contracts via benefits, opportunities, programs. And so if you're going into the military, I want you to start preparing for the transition day one. So do that by checking out the podcast and subscribing to the channel, because there's so much good information out there. And I continue to be impressed and excited by the conversations I've been having. So don't miss out on learning from our experiences and learning from others' experiences. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel on your way out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.